afternoon. My name is Mike Martin, Superintendent here at Davis Public Schools. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today and celebrating a time we've been looking forward to for about 2 years now. At this time and throughout the program, we'll be introducing some different guests, and so at this time I want to mention some of our guests, and we'll get to some of our others a little bit later in the program. As you can see, if you didn't get a program, we have those in the back. At this time, I would like to have the Davis Board of Education, if you would please stand. We also had Kim Hale, who was a big part of this process throughout the way. I don't believe she's here today, but we'd like to also mention her. Our architects, Tim Elliott, Kyle Taylor, stand up. I'll tell you the projects that I've been fortunate enough to work with here at Davis Schools, with our bond issues and some things that we've done. Not only at this school, but previous schools I've been at. I worked with this company, it's Redland Childers out of Ada, and the reason I like them so well is their attention to detail. There's a lot of attention to detail here, and Tim and Kyle both, I told Kyle's wife a while ago, I said, he really was here working. If he told you he was here working, he really was here working. So appreciate them. They did a great deal of, put a lot of effort into making sure everything's just right. So thank you guys. Also, is there anyone here from Silver Cliff Construction? They were a construction company that were, they're out of Edmond. They did an outstanding job. Andrew Everett was their lead superintendent. They had other people here during the time to work, but Andrew, it didn't matter. I would send him a picture. Don't like this, don't like that. And he always said, don't worry about it, I'll make sure we get it right. And so I want to mention Andrew, even though he's not here. Mention him and thank him for the pride and effort that they put into this beautiful project. Also here we have some special guests working tremendously hard for us at the state capitol. And a friend of Davis Schools, Charles McCall and Pat Omby said they could not be here today, but Senator Frank Simpson, stand up. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for all you do. We're spending quite a bit of time in conversation right now, and I really appreciate the time and effort that they put in, because it is a sacrifice for them, time away from their families to serve us, and we thank you for that. Also here from the great Chickasaw Nation, the Secretary of Commerce, Mr. Bill Lance, joining us today. You will see him in a picture here in just a few minutes, and we will mention kind of how this process evolved and where the Chickasaw Nation became a partner in this project for us. But at this time, I want to go ahead and start our slide presentation. Now, I have 300 slides of the whole renovation process, but I put it down to 19. You don't have to say too much. This is where we started. We have outstanding musical programs here, our speech and debate. Our band, we have wonderful, wonderful programs. And we didn't feel like this auditorium, as you see it on the screen, did it justice. Built in 1958, and I don't think it had been touched since then. This shows in the back, we had some issues with people trying to get in. We used to have a ramp that would go out the south door. And if you let go of someone in a wheelchair, they may not stop for a couple of blocks. So it was not the best situation. So what we wanted to do is take away this area where you came in the front doors, and this shows, that's one of the better pictures of some of our chairs. And then along the process, we wanted to honor someone. And while I've been here, there's been a name that just kept coming up over years and years, and more than others. I know Brent G. had this wonderful lady in class, and we will say more about her in just a few minutes. But as you can see outside, Dorothy Jameson Performing Arts Center, she was hired in 1953 and spent 34 years here. Had some tremendous, tremendous programs with her different home ec classes and things that she did. And when we went out and sat down with her and told her that this is something we wanted to do. She was tremendously honored. And anyway, we will speak more about that in just a few minutes. Oh, okay, this was, I believe, Mimi's 91st birthday party, is that correct? After we decided we were going to honor her with naming this facility after her, had her 91st birthday party, we gave her a plaque there, and this shows a picture. Along the way, we knew we had to raise the money for this, and we met with Governor Anoatubby, took Miss Irene Digby with us. I've been fortunate enough to be part of her life for 27 years. She's a tremendous lady and a Chickasaw elder, and I don't want to take too much of the governor's things from him that he will say about her a little bit later, but we met with Bill Lance, as you can see there, and they decided to support this project and really make it possible. We took the chairs out. We set those things outside, and they said, we have 5 dumpsters to take these off in. I said, guys, if we spread word around town that we're going to throw those chairs away, they will be gone. So they couldn't believe that we set those outside, and people are actually out here digging in the dumpster trying to find different parts of the chair because they wanted a part of this history. This community loves this school. This is just showing some of the progress out in the front lobby. The next slide will show you how much we had to raise that to be able to make it handicap accessible. You can see in the bottom of the picture there, it was about 3 feet. It's probably 3 feet, 2.5 inches or whatever Tim and Kyle could tell us. But we had room there to raise that and make it where you could just come up the ramp and then walk in on level. It wasn't appropriate to put a picture of the old bathrooms on the slideshow. If you had seen them, those of you who know what they look like, it just wasn't going to happen. This is the foundation for our new restrooms. If you need to get back there and check those out. You might think that's funny, but if you're from Davis, you understand. People from Davis say those restrooms are awesome. Then we had the triangle walls. That came up quite often. We had Ford Audio Video in, and they said acoustically you need to do something with these walls. So the board voted and agreed that we would fur those out and put a secondary wall over that. It shows our sound panels that are up to the left on both sides. That was before they were covered with the same material that's on your seats. The plastic on the seats you're sitting in are to try to help protect from all the woodwork that's going on up there. Okay, more of the same. The construction guys, this is a construction zone. You're not supposed to bring anyone in here. Went by the band room on the way to check it out. I said, hey, you guys want to see inside the auditorium? They're like, yeah. So this is our band director to the left, Mr. Jess Reynolds, and some kids that were hanging out outside by the door, and they came in and sat down. I took the picture. So we weren't supposed to be in here, so it may be good that Silver Cliff isn't here. All right, this is just a shot of the women's restroom. As you can see, beautiful job, great design, Tim, and I just think they just turned out very, very well, very pleased. And I try to keep everyone up to date on Facebook because people wanted to come up here. And if you came up here, I brought you in, okay? I don't care who it was. We didn't put on the hard hats every time or whatever, but this is one of the pictures that we took after kind of got some things done, and about 200 likes on this picture. Everyone liked this picture right here, so I guess it looks so different than the wooden chairs. And then, all right. At this time, that's pretty much the end of that. But throughout the process, we had to have some help. This project would not have been possible without many partners. You can see them represented on our wall on the back. And when we went and talked to Governor Anoatubby, and he, I think, really saw the vision of this project and really liked it. And just to honor them, and Jeff Jennings, the middle school principal, this was really his idea. But we wanted to do something to honor the Chickasaw Nation and show that we put a little bit more thought into it. And the Michelle Atafama, sorry, me, Mom, I don't mess that up. That means a Chickasaw gathering place of the wolves. And we are the Davis Wolves, so we wanted to show our appreciation to the governor in the Chickasaw Nation in this project, and that will be forever displayed here in the back. And at this time, I want to introduce, I'm biased to this guy. I mean, no disrespect to any other former governor of the Chickasaw Nation, but I think he is absolutely the best governor and one of the best people of the Chickasaw Nation are blessed to have him as their governor. He has been not only helped with this project, but he's helped us with our playground projects and other things that we've done here on campus, and has always been a great supporter of not only Davis schools, but the Davis community. A lot of projects they do that a lot of people don't know about. And this is a great man, and we want to have him come up at this time, Governor of the Chickasaw Nation, Bill Anoatubby.
Good afternoon. Is that still working, Mike?
Yes.
Mark, the good PA system is when you can't hear yourself. I guess I can hear myself, I just can't hear it out here, right? Okay, I won't leave that one alone. Hi, everybody. Isn't it a great afternoon? And I know you missed a little snow last week. I'm sort of glad that you postponed it. I was wondering how I was going to get here. Senator, isn't this great? I know you work hard at the Capitol trying to take care of the state's business, and you have a Capitol building that certainly right now is needing some work, and I'm glad to see that underway. And people of Oklahoma are certainly, I think most people in Oklahoma are pleased that what's being done to improve the Capitol. I know that here in this community, people are pleased about this. I know. You said that I saw your vision, and I did see the vision, but I also saw the condition of what this facility is in. And it sort of took me back to my high school days. I remember that seating. It was kind of hard, wasn't it? Wooden. Conform, but you had to conform to it. You had to sit there very long. It had a way of creating some tension. And then, of course, the vision was wonderful. This is let's give the school system and Mike a round of applause. There's a little more to that. You know, he didn't mention that when he came to visit me, I guess you did mention that Meemaw was with him. And of course, she made a few statements too. Mike, he shared photos from the facility and all, but Irene Digby is, and we know her as Meemaw, was there, and she made sure that she threw her 2 cents in about the need to do this, and she asked that we do it. I've never, ever turned her down. For one thing, she didn't ask for too many things, okay? It's a pretty good project, a pretty good request when she asked for it. And so the combination, obviously, of your need as a community and as a school system, and of having a very important person and highly respected elder of the Chickasaw Nation being there to support you, that meant a lot. It made the decision real easy for me. I only had one caveat, and I think you fulfilled it, and that's we honor her also here with this project. You know, mostly she's known as a soft-spoken person who her actions say a great deal about her Chickasaw heritage. And she's very quick to share her knowledge about the Chickasaw language and the songs, and of course today she's a student of the language. She's a wonderful and distinguished storyteller, and she really lives out the lessons that are within those stories that she tells and she conveys. Of course, she has some traditional skills that go along with that, you know, in beading and, of course, cooking, traditional recipes. And she's nurtured what the Chickasaw heritage, and that's what makes the Chickasaw tribe so strong, is to have elders like her. Because one of the more strong things about Chickasaw is the family. Hey, by the way, how many Digby family members do we have? You raise your hand and wave if you're part of the family. Isn't that cool? How about Chickasaws? Let's have all Chickasaws wave too. We got quite a few. Pretty soon I'm going to be able to tell, even when they're driving their car down the road, because they've got those Chickasaw tags on the back. I saw one coming over here today. You know, we've had the benefit of elders like Irene over the years sharing the Chickasaw history and the heritage with us, and she certainly is no exception. And she established within her own family the tradition of finding Chickasaw names for children. And I don't know what they are, but I bet she can remember, and I bet she calls you by those names. Huh? She's not only respected by the tribe and the leadership of the tribe, she's respected by the community. And that's really, really important. You know, it shows how helpful a person like her is. Wisdom, caring, and being honorable are traits that you can say about Irene Digby. Now, I said she's soft-spoken, but I bet occasionally there's one or two of you that she wasn't so soft-spoken with. But that's part of it too, you know. Teaching, causing people to understand the difference between right and wrong and the direction that they need to go. And she's been there. She still does that. And so, all in all, Irene Digby is a great example of what it means to be Chickasaw. We're so proud that her name is on this plaque, and there's a little bit about her that's inscribed on that plaque. Here it is. There's probably not enough on it about Irene, but there's a whole lot. So we can certainly appreciate it. And Irene, we're thankful for your leadership. We're thankful for what you've done not only in this community, but for the Chickasaw Nation. We're very pleased to be part of this project and to have a plaque up there with your name on it, because it's such a wonderful thing to have you honored here by this school. So thank you, Irene. Thank you to the school system and for what you're doing. Congratulations, too, on this, and congratulations on that state championship. I ought to throw that in, because that's kind of special, too. That's a heritage, that's a tradition you folks have, and that's a winning tradition. Thank you.
You gotta see her.
Chuma, that's the word hello in my Chickasaw language. Chuma, everybody must learn that word. I'm Irene Digby, and I'm called Meemaw by many people here in Davis. I'm a full-blood Chickasaw Indian, and I'm 93 years young. I graduated here in this DHS Davis in 1942. Over the years, many accomplishments have been made. I'm so proud of the beautiful new auditorium here. And I'm so thankful for our Chickasaw Nation, Mingo, that means Chief and Governor, Bill Anoatubby, Mike Martin, Rhonda Jameson, and all others that had a part and seen that ahead and seen that there was a need for this beautiful auditorium and for our students to enjoy in years to come. In 1940s, I mentioned a few things. In the old auditorium, which was over that way, I remember different classes that had to have a skit to perform in that auditorium. And I had to sing a song. And I'll just sing a little bit of it. I'm in that that his peace may last forever. And my hope for this is that there will be peace and love that will last forever in this community and to the world. Besides studying, we had good and fun times in the time. And one was by playing hooky under the old stairways. Some of you might remember that. To miss out of a class and play hooky. And also I was playing softball during the noon hours. That's what we had to do, is play in the noon hours. And we had no gloves. I still have a crooked little finger that had to be jerked back in place. In the auditorium before, I remember not only kids graduated, but a dog named Fritz that belonged to Beverly Rhine that slipped into the auditorium and found her and sit down and enjoyed also. I remember playing basketball with my cousin, Anna Mae Lampkin. Anna Mae Cunnington Lampkin. Some of you might know her. And she was a cousin of mine, and we were on the first team in basketball. And we played in 3 sections. Some of you might remember that. And later on, we had a superintendent that didn't believe in girls' basketball. So that ended that. I remember Miss Rhonda Jameson, right down here, and that she was teaching home economics, which was a special thing for my girls, and my girls still remember sewing and cooking, and Beverly all the time. And Rhonda's sitting down there, making beds with tucked-in hospital corner. And famous cream eggs on toast. And I'm very proud through all the years of my kids and grandkids being good athletes. I'm especially proud of Mike and Jerry Martin, Tammy Webb, Danny Digby, Jeff Jennings, Ronnie Birch are still on my DHS faculty in 2015. From my Indian heart, we will, I want y'all to remember, we will always be known by the tracks we leave. Chugmashki, that means thank you.
How exciting is this? I just want to say a very special thank you to our Board of Education and to Mike Martin for the vision that you had for this. You know, I've often heard it said that where there's no vision, people perish. And thank you for having that vision. Thank you for making this such an incredible place to be for the fine arts. I just appreciate those of you who put forth so much effort in this financially, and I just can't begin to tell you what it means to me as a teacher, the vocal teacher here at Davis. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for seeing its importance and being willing to put your money and invest into this wonderful place. Thank you. We're going to do just a little bit of singing here, and most of the students that you see on stage today are part of the sweepstakes choir that was last year. And for those of you who might not know about sweepstakes, that is where it's the highest honor that OSSA gives for its vocal departments, actually for all of its music departments. And you must make superior ratings in both concert and sight reading in 2 categories, in 2 choirs. And we just finished making Superiors a district, and we're sure hoping and setting that goal right in front of us for this year. And boy, it is just awesome to be able to sing for you today. We have not practiced in here one time, so this is brand new to us, and we just love it already. Thank you again.
Which mic does she have?
Red. She has orange.
Orange, gotcha.
He has red. By the way, this is James Martin. This is Jordan Romine.
Wow. They deserve this award. Rhonda Maynard, outstanding job. Great job with our kids. Denise White works with our younger people. She's a big part of them coming up through this also. Thank you, Ms. White, back there videoing for us today. but it's put a tremendous amount of time into making sure the screen works, projector works, all these things are going well. Put in a tremendous amount of time. Mark Richardson, thank you very, very much. All right. Miss Dorothy, you still there with us? All right. That's hard to follow, isn't it? Yeah. Like I said, through this process, I'm not just saying this because we're where we are today, but many, many, many times when I spoke to people, they've talked about, when are you going to bring back home ec? We used to have Dorothy Jameson here. She taught us how to cook. She taught us how to quilt. She taught us how to do the bed corner. Someone even mentioned that somewhere, and how to properly make a bed. All these things that are important in life and moving on, and her name came up all the time. So Dorothy, I know your article in the paper said, why me? Well, I'll tell you why you. Because you made a difference in a tremendous amount of young people over the years, and we're thanking you for that. And thank you so much for everything that you've done. And she's still as sharp as a tack, sit around and can tell you stories as long as you want to sit there and listen. And I really enjoyed that time sitting out there with her. But at this time, her son, Dr. John Jameson, will come up and make some comments before Dorothy comes to speak.
Good afternoon. I think that the time frame came up earlier, about 2 years ago. I get this weird phone call from Mike Martin and Brent G. And they said, we need to meet with you. I said, okay. Meet us at the auditorium. Okay. So we came in and I had a chance to witness again the disheveled looking appearance of the facility that was here, just like it was in 1966 when I got to it, or worse. And so we had a chance to visit. So we're walking over here from the superintendent's office, and right now we're walking back. And this is pretty much the history of how this began. And they said to me, well, we would like to have a new auditorium. I think that would be great. How would you raise the money to do this? Asking me. They said, we know you've done some fundraising and things like this at the university level. What would you do to make it happen? And I said, well, have we thought about a bond issue? Oh, no, we can't do that right now. We have other plans for that. And I said, well, then private donations are the best way to do it. Now, of course, thinking in the back of my mind, I don't have Boone Pickens to back me up. And so we have to look then at what we were able to do. And I said, oh, no, we give them private donations. Well, then they say to me, who would you recommend? Well, I had some folks that I could make phone calls to. And yes, and we had some meetings here in town. And some very generous people stepped right up front. Some of you are here today, and I want to say thank you. And then we think about where we could go. So we were able to raise so much money, and then we leveled off. And so Mike calls me again, what do we do? And I said, well, I think what I would do is, how many Chickasaw young people are here in the school system? Well, I don't know exactly. I said, well, I think I'd find out. So a week later, he calls me back. He goes, you wouldn't believe it. I said, yeah, I would. We need to go see Governor Anoatubby. And so, this is how it all began, Governor. So we sat down and we planned to go there. So Mike and I were going to go to the meeting. And Mike says, oh, by the way, we're taking Mimo. Yes! Yes! We know we have his weak spot with Mimo. So, we did. We picked her up, and she had been to the doctor in the morning. She was not feeling well, remember, Irene, that day? But she was on her A game. And Governor Anoatubby experienced that A game within the first 5 minutes. And so, we had a chance to visit with him, and the generosity of the Chickasaw Nation came forward. And he found out how much money we were able to raise. We were doing it through private donations. And the quote was, we'll pick up the difference. Thank you. So, of course, Irene was sitting there telling him about mother teaching her daughters. Okay? And that went real well. And then the fact that she also taught Dean and me when we switched out from VOAG to home ec. And that was always an experience for her, to learn how to sew on buttons and how to thread a needle. And that took a week. Okay? We were the slow group, but it happened. Anyway, so as time has gone through with this process, with the benefit of a great architectural firm, with the benefits of generosity of you people, whether it was your time, your emotion, or your financial help, and the Chickasaw Nation, we were able to make this happen. And so on behalf of the Jameson family and the Quaid family, Mom's step family, we want to thank you for the honor of her name being on this facility.
At this time, we'll have Miss Dorothy Jameson say a few words.
Thank you very much, and I hope you can hear me. I never liked to go anywhere where people were talking and I didn't know what they were saying. But I am very, very impressive. In fact, I'm really emotional about it. But I want to thank all of you. And you don't know how much I've enjoyed Davis being here all these years. I have a few little things I want to say about it, and I can't say them all, Mr. Martin. We'll just start out with, I hadn't been teaching too long, and I don't even remember why I wasn't teaching. But they had the VOAG teacher was terminally ill, and they called me to see if I could finish out the semester, which was probably, maybe 2.5, 3 months, I don't remember. But I said, are you kidding? They said, no, we've checked with the state office, and they said you have a vocational certificate, so you can apply it to agriculture. I knew how to fill out forms, bless them. So I said, okay, I don't know what I did with that 2 little children then. They were preschool. But anyway, oh, John said that Bill said on Tina's lap all the time, or he did, I guess it was. Because we were sponsoring Pep Club and a whole bunch of stuff. I never saw so much going on in my life. But I don't have time to stand here and talk to you all evening about all this. I do want to tell you about some experiences. Okay, I went into the ag class. I'm sure the boys have been informed about their new teacher. She can come in here? Okay. Anyway, we got in there, and I knew most of the boys because they were on campus. And I heard some funny little noises. Here were the voices, we don't do that in here. Boy, and we never did it again. And that voice came from a very large boy, and I think he must have been close to a senior, but he had been on the football team. And you know if you're a Davis Wolf, what you are. So anyway, we just went on just fine, and we did a lot of things like was mentioned, sewing on buttons and just doing things. But an interesting thing to me, I grew up on a big ranch out in the western part of the state, but I never saw so many milk cows in my life. I don't know how many dairies used to be here in Murray County, and there's only one now. But we visited dairies and saw a lot of different things going on. One interesting thing was we visited the Kraft cheese plant that was over at the Sulphur at that time. And the boys were very familiar with it because they got the whey and fed to the pigs. And I don't know how many of you have ever seen milk curdled. But we watched them in and put it in the milk, and then they curdled it, and they saw how all that did. Well, so forth, it just went well. And this, we never had to say we don't say that in here. Wasn't long until time changed, the semester, and so everything. Then this person, by the way, I'm telling you about 2 scholars. And this one must have graduated, and then he went into the custodial service of the Davis School. And all the time I was teaching home economics or anything else that wanted something special, he never said, what are you going to do with it? When do you want it? I just told him when I wanted it, and it was there. It was wonderful to have somebody in a nice, soft voice not complain about doing something. Well, time went on, and so then there was another little boy. I don't know if I want to talk about boys when we talk girls about some time. I was working, of course, with at 4-H and so forth, but this boy was just talking all the time. And the teachers, the lower teachers, till I got into the 5th grade, said, we just can't stop him from talking. He just wants to talk. And I said, when I get him, I'll stop. I had no influence on that child whatsoever. But the funny thing was, he was usually buying close to himself. He wasn't bothering anybody. And what he was asking about made pretty good sense. And he was always a top person in scoring at the meat judging contest at the locker plant that Oakley's already had for us. And when he got to OSU, now this is kind of key to it, he made the meat judging team as a freshman at OSU. Well, gosh, I couldn't say it. But anyway, as we were coming up, we would be talking about it, and Mrs. Burge and I both had worked with him in the 4-H, and she would complain about him talking. But I said, have you ever tried to listen to him? You know, everything he said kind of made sense and made you start to think. So then I got to thinking about, they wanted me to say something about somebody. So I was going to just pick out 2 citizens of Davis, Oklahoma, Murray County, that have really been examples of great people in our school system, and I'm very, very proud of them. So today, I would like to say, Charlie Rogers, congratulations. I have often wondered what you would have done if you'd have had Cade Kopenbarger. You know, Cade called me after he got his doctorate degree in veterinary science, and there's Mrs. Jameson, I wish I had their scorecards. I would show you something. I knew what he was going to say. They were going to say he made in hundreds on communications. And, you know, so here he is. He's our head veterinarian at the Hilltop Veterinary Medicine. And Kay and you guys, I am so proud of you. They're just wonderful to know that they are Davis citizens and they graduated from Davis High School. Thank you.
At this time, could I just ask the Jameson family to stand up? What a wonderful legacy you guys have. Also, I'd like to mention someone before I go. I'm not going to get back up there and say too much more. I want to thank all of you for coming out, but someone that had the opportunity to hire Dorothy here, former superintendent for many years. It's been someone that I'll call on the wisdom of many, many times. And I asked him if yesterday they turned Miss Sarah's into a drive-in. It looks like a fairly antique place. But unfortunately, someone ran in the front of their store yesterday. But Pete Bird, can you stand up and wave? Please don't run off. You can stick around and check everything out as long as you'd like to. We have some pictures of Dorothy back in some of the classes that she taught and everything. On the back way, it's kind of a way to get you to go look at those nice restrooms that we built back there. But thank you so much for coming out, and you have a great afternoon.